And so you said, you weren't reading romance, and this was one of your gateways into romance, and now you're a contemporary romance author. So how much of your romance journey was reading historical? At what point did you discover contemporary? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I honestly, at my heart, I'm a historical fiction reader. Like, I prefer to read historical romance. It is what I find most escapist and exciting. I love just like a turn my brain off, Regency, I have to find a husband. But I also love how writers are able to use historical to explore political topics, to explore injustice and all of these bigger structures. So it's just everything I could possibly want, I have found in historical romance. And so for the first few years, I was only reading historical, first Regency, and then branching out into Gilded Age and Victorian, and then all different types of time periods with Beverly Jenkins. And I started to read contemporary, and it almost felt like a separate genre because I was reading all these mass market paperback historicals from the library, and then friends would give me the trade paperback contemporaries of the moment, like The Hating Game, and then eventually Emily Henry. And it was kind of wild to me to be like, oh, I've been over here in this small little neighborhood, but romance is gigantic. And I slowly started to venture out. And honestly, the main reason I wrote in contemporary was I had always written contemporary fiction, not realizing it was romance. And then I had a bunch of like demons in my life that I wanted to like put into a character. And so it made sense for me to write contemporary for the story I wanted to tell, but I would like to write historical. I'm like kind of noodling on an idea right now, but it's very intimidating to me to write historical, and I have so much respect for the authors who do it, and I'm just like, I don't know, we'll see. Contemporary feels safer because it's a world I know so well because I'm alive right now.
Yeah, I get that. But you know what? Just give it a try. You'll love it.
It's really fun. And also like I listened to a few episodes of your podcast yesterday while I was getting ready, and at one point I think you asked an author like when does something even become historical? Like how far in the past does it need to be? And my book takes place in 2018 with flashbacks to 2013, and I've gotten a lot of Gen Z readers being like this feels like historical fiction. And I'm like, first of all, you're making me feel very old,
That
and I'm
that
not.
hurts.
I'm pretty, yeah, I know. I was like, oh my God, is MGMT now a historical romance reference? But it got me thinking about like, when do we feel removed from the current moment in fiction? And like, I don't think it's historical fiction to write about the decade before this one, but to a reader who was learning their multiplication tables at that time, yeah, it was a very humbling moment.
Yeah, it is interesting. I think, I've had that conversation a couple of times now, and then when I think about it in terms of TV shows, like Stranger Things is such a period piece
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
1980s, and that was before I was born, but not that much before I was born. And
Hmm.
so, I think we need more terms to describe
Yeah.
period fiction and historical, and we need to be flexible.
Yeah. I set out to write a very millennial coded 2010s book, and I don't think I realized. Yeah, the genre definition and like genre distinction has been like the bane of my existence over the last few years. It's been interesting to see like when the concepts we have fail us.